Do 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 do. Or should I be singing "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling"? Is my microphone working? Because it's not showing up there. Hang on, let's have a look. We go down the cleavage. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Are we working, everyone? Let me know. Can you hear me? I'll just give you all a little minute to come online. I did select that as the audio, but you know what it's like. Anything can happen when we're online, particularly, oh, thank you, Lisa. That's such a relief. Particularly when we're talking about Ireland and, the Fae and everything that's there. Get me into trouble. I'm here solo today. I had the task today because Auntie Renata is working all day at the shop in Cardiff. So if you want to call in and see her, she is there quite often now. Witch and Willow have sort of spread out and have got another shop in Cardiff. So you can go see her there. But I wanted to create this itinerary and get it out to you all because I know that time is ticking, and with Australia, it's a long way to Ireland, and we want to get the best prices on our airfares as they come up. So I just wanted to get it finished, but then I started putting it together, and I'm thinking, do I start down the bottom and work my way up, or do we start in the middle and work our way across, or do we go up and come down? And I realized there was all these considerations I needed to take into account before I could give a day-to-day itinerary. Now, naughty me should not have said in the last podcast that we would have it all up and ready to go by the last one. Should have realised when I was recording that it was days before we were leaving, and then we were going away for 4 weeks, and it wasn't done then. So when we were going to do it, hello. Hello, Christy. Hi, Robert. Hi, Shane. Hi, Joe. Hi, Jody. I know you're excited, Jody. So we are running Frightfully Good Haunted Holidays after we picked up the tour that was cancelled for... I don't want to go into details about that. Basically, not enough numbers. So the tour company was able to carry forward with it without carrying on at a loss. So we said, we are not disappointing our people. We will organise it. And we did. So we ran that trip and it went extremely well. We may have ran them into the ground a little bit because we were so keen to please. But what I wanted to do was create with Renata a 10-day trip that is not necessarily as luxurious and well, what's the words when you're... Renata would be here and she would find the word when you're on a group and it's sort of like a higher standard, a little bit more posh, maybe that's the word, than what can be offered by Mysterious Adventures. And as you know, we have worked with Mysterious Adventures, and the last Ireland trip we did at the beginning of this year, we actually told Mysterious Adventures where we would like to go, the locations that we wanted to visit, and the itinerary was put together based on that. So rather than spending more money on 4 and 5 star accommodation, which was beautiful, I would rather spend the money on investigations and keeping the cost down as much as we can to allow us more, so to speak. Even though we're getting the cost down, we can do more. And to do that, we can't do a big bus. We can't have extra travel people along to help us. But what we do have is Brendan. He is our go-to person, our one-man band, so to speak. He has his very own minibus, and he will drive us around. And because of that, and because of luggage, we can only take 10 people with us. I do have a little bit of a backup plan if needed, that we may be able to take 4 extra people, but that would depend on numbers. To run this, we are going to need 7 people because there are some basic costs which don't change depending on the amount of people attending, like the hire of locations and the hire of the bus in Brendan. So we need to have 7 bums on seats to join us on this trip. And then once we've locked those people in, we'll go up to the 10, and then I'll create a waiting list. So if there are more people that want to come, we will have a little waiting list to see if I can get enough, because it's going to cost me another €1,000 to be able to get the extra people to attend. But we don't like big numbers. We like small numbers. We had such a ball with our little group driving all over America. And what we did with that one to keep their costs down is we hired 2 cars, and we had 2 lovely ladies who were on the tour with us help us drive. I drove one car, and we had Linda and Natasha driving the other car. And that brought numbers down. But we really want to support Brendan on this trip, and we wanted to book him. So it's going to be more expensive than 2 cars, but he is worth it, trust me. We'll also be supported by our sister team, Puca Paranormal, and they will join us on some of the investigations that we are hoping to lock in. Again, I can't lock anything in until I know how many people are coming. It's this catch-22, as they say. We're because it's just Renata and I, we're not in a position to go ahead and book everything as a leap of faith. But we will be locking it in as soon as we get deposits. You're coming, Jodie! Yay! I hope Simon found enough there that he likes. Driving on the wrong side of the road, Robert. Honestly. Hi, Deanna. So let me pop up I called it the statement of itinerary or something like that, so we could get an idea. I've just got to find the page that is on. Not that one. Not that one. I've got it here somewhere. All right, so we are calling it the Frightfully Good Haunted Holiday Ireland 2025, and it is castles, myths, ghosts, and a Titanic twist. We had the idea when we found out that some of the places we wanted to go to were near things associated with the Titanic. We thought, well, let's include that in, because everyone loves something about the Titanic. So we will be starting off in Dublin, and we will have the Dublin Airport as the location where we pick you up. Now, the reason I do that is it is a place generally we all fly into. Airport hotels have shuttle buses to and from. It's easy to catch Uber or taxi or something to and from the airport. So you may arrive in Ireland early if you want to, and go exploring for a bit, and then meet us back at the airport. But it's a central location everyone can get to easily. We will then gather you all up, and on that very first day, we will hit the road. So we're probably going to be meeting you there about 10 a.m. in the morning. And rather than having a day where you do nothing, we're straight into it. One of the ideas I had, if we were going to go sideways across Ireland, was to go to St. Bridget's Well, which is a very special place to those who have been there with us. And I thought if we started off at Bridget's Well and Garden, we could sort of do an opening and a blessing of the tour, and then tie our cluties with our wishes to the tree there, and wish us safe travels and exciting times for our trip. So that is the first thing. I suppose what I should have really done was printed this, and then I could see any questions that are coming up. I keep printing it to the wrong printer. I've organised a printer here next to me, which will make life much easier. So I'll print that up and I'll grab it. Then we sort of had a few options of where we could go and what we could be doing. But I'll go through those in a second. I'll just wait for this to pop out. So the trip at the moment is established starting Monday, the 8th of September. We have Brendan locked in for this, and finishing on Wednesday, the 17th of September. It is hosted by myself and Renata. We will be on the trip unless one of us dies, and then we will still be on the trip in spirit. You know us. Our bus driver, we have Brendan from Ireland Casual Travels, and our Irish Paranormal team, our sister team, Puca Paranormal, with some of you know our Irish Australian correspondent, Danielle. They will be joining us for some of our paranormal investigations that we plan to do. Now I can get back over to where the questions are. Right, there we are. Oh, Lisa, yeah. From there, I'll tell you what is included and what is not included. So the pickup time at the airport and the drop back to the airport is included. All travel during the 10 days that is associated with our trip is included and covered. All accommodation will be covered. All tickets, entry fees, and venue hires will be covered. And of course, Renata's and mine experience and wonderfulness will be covered, whatever that is. I'm just going to scroll this screen down a little bit further. It's hard to work out which one's where. Is it there? There it is. Right, now to note what is not included in the trip. We do not include meals unless otherwise stated. Some of the places we stay at may include breakfast. It does not include your airfares. Please note, you must provide your own airfares. That way you can travel on whatever airline you like. And if you have points or something you want to use, or if you want to fly business first class or on the wing, like Renata and I generally do, although I'm trying hard these days not to. I've enrolled on a course how to get points to get on business cheap. I've got to do the course though. It does not include travel insurance, and it is necessary for you to have travel insurance to come on this trip, because I know that sometimes bad things happen when you're about to leave, and it did happen with our New Orleans trip. And it's not the responsibility of the tour guide operator, those who have planned the trip for you, to refund the money. It's your travel insurance. Because what has happened is once money comes into us, we are booking accommodation, we are booking tours, we are booking things in which we can't get money back on most of the time. So we can't be out of pocket because something bad has happened in your life. I'm really sorry, but that's the reality of it. So I know recently on one trips for one of the other companies that somebody's mother died 2 days beforehand. And they got all upset with the tour company for not refunding them the money. The tour company was dreadful, sorry to hear that they'd loved someone so close to them, but they'd already paid out all the money. So it's not their fault. They can't be out of pocket for it. And we're not in a position for Renata and I to be out of pocket to be able to afford to do this. So you must have travel insurance. Yeah. And tipping, like with Ireland, they don't necessarily have tipping over there as much as they did in America. But should you want to tip someone that's doing a really good job, and look, I really would put a little something aside for Brendan because he's just so good. I hope he's not watching this. It could be awkward. It also doesn't include drinks. And if you decide to do activities outside what we have planned, we don't cover that as well. So we come up now to the list of things that we do have that we've planned or that we're wanting to do. I'll just skip over to these and go back to that. Now, with this, we are planning to get to as many of these as possible and maybe some more. But it really comes down to how long our bus driver can drive for the day. They have certain rules and regulations to keep them safe and us safe, where they can only drive for so many hours in a day. Our plan is to have a central location. So rather than staying somewhere one night and then packing up, driving somewhere, checking into the motel, staying the night, get up next day, and that's nightmarish. We've done that. It is hell on earth. We are looking at Airbnbs that will hold enough of us, and if we don't have Airbnbs, there may be a castle that we can stay at. That castle I put the picture up of, they needed a minimum 3-night stay, and let me tell you now, there is no way any of us could have coped with those conditions, going up and down those fecking stairs for 3 nights. It wasn't going to happen. So I'm looking elsewhere, and I have somewhere in mind. Uh, so hang on, we'll get back and make sure I've got all of that. So depending on the availability of the location, we might lock it in, and then they decide to sell it, and we can't get in there anymore, and they cancel our booking. Yeah, right. We're looking at one of the plans is to go down to Cove. Now that's spelled COBH, and that has a strong link to the Titanic, and that was the last place it sailed from when it left Ireland. It was built up in Belfast. And there they all have a very haunted island called Spike Island. So we are including that as part of our activities. This is all out of order. It's all over the place. There is Newgrange, which is a very sacred ancient pagan site, which we will get tickets for. This is one of these situations where you've got to sit online because they only release the tickets at a certain time. They won't let tour companies or anything buy them in advance. So you've got to sit and wait, like I did for the House of Seven Gables, for the tickets to be released, and then you jump on and buy them. So if we can get in, we'll be doing that one. Nouth and Douth is the same thing. Tintern Abbey is one of the places I visited with Dave Schrader, and it is one of the most beautiful location. It is an abbey that is in ruins. You can climb around the ruins and explore it. There is a walking trail down by the river. There's old abandoned buildings. It's just a place where you go and take photos and soak in the atmosphere. It is just joyous. Wicklow Jail. I'm talking to them about possibly doing a paranormal investigation there, and it will be a private hire. Let me say, Ireland is somewhat more expensive than America. Triple the price. So whereas in America, I think we ended up with 7 or 8 investigations. If I can get 3 in here, we'll be doing good. There was one place that wanted an astounding amount of money, and that for 3 hours, and I went, nope. So we are working on that. I'm also going to talk to the Puca girls, and we will be looking at Redwood Castle. Now, Renata and I have investigated that a couple of times now, and there is even a video up of Diary of a Ghost Hunter where we were talking to the Puca girls and interviewing them at Redwood Castle. So we're hopefully going to get in there. Now, I'm going to pronounce them all incorrectly. You know how good I am at that. Clonmacnoise is where the oldest Celtic cross is. It's in it would be a graveyard because there's a chapel there. Just wandering around there and seeing these headstones, and there's a museum there with the history of some of these cemeteries, and it's... and I have to say, Danielle took us there. St. Bridget's Well, I've already mentioned. I would also like to look into some of the darker side of Ireland. I had a profound experience with Renata and Danielle where we went to a place called Tuam. And you've probably heard us talk about this, Tuam, Tuam. And it is where there was a home run by a religious order for unwed mothers, for those who had fallen pregnant, and they were considered sinners, and the children were called the spawn of Satan. The children were unclean, and they were treated very poorly. And there has been documentary recently about they have discovered that there are babies and small children that have been put into a cistern or well underneath what used to be the building. We will visit to pay our respects. We are not visiting to investigate, but it's a little bit out of the way, but I would love to take you there. I get emotional even thinking about it. Take your tissues because, I'm not going to go on anymore. It's profound. The Irish Workhouse Museum, that is another fascinating place of how the rich dealt with the poor during the famine, and how families were separated. And I think we need to understand the levels and the layers of the history of Ireland to be able to understand the myths, the hauntings, and why there would be restless spirits. We've been to that one. It was fantastic. Not a place, again, that we would necessarily investigate, even though I'd be dying to. It's still an open wound for the Irish, and I don't think it would be appropriate for us to go in there with gadgets and things. But this is part of our tour. This is what we're going to explore, the dark side, as we like to say. There is also Crumlin Road Jail. We're unlikely to be able to book that for a private paranormal investigation, but I'll see if I can get us some sort of nighttime tour there. But we will definitely visit there. That was the place I nearly shit my pants, literally, because I had an attack of the runs and the toilet was a long way away. I know, we're dreadful. And of course, the Titanic experience in Belfast, we'll be going there. Now, there are some locations in Belfast that we are hoping to do paranormal investigations at, and one of them was poor, but we have to get in contact with the people that own that and see if they still have access to it. I'll be talking to the Puca girls about that. And what was the other one? Oh, yes, the Irish Military Aircraft Museum. We will be investigating there as well. But once again, I've got to lock that in with the owner. He's got such an awesome collection, and the Nazi collection's a bit disturbing, but there you go. So that's some of the plan. Some of the plan. We will have at least one castle stay. I'm determined. Again, it depends on availability and if we can get enough rooms for all of us to be in there. We will be staying at a haunted hotel. I already know which one it is. Again, I've got to lock it in before I tell you where it is. Aiming for at least 3 paranormal investigations where we hire the location, so we don't have 50,000 other people. Oh, I forgot to mention one important place, the one behind me here. That is Glendalough, which is, if you can see, there's the tower there, and this place is beautiful. You would just want to sit and look at the amazing headstones and the towers and things that are there. So I'm trying to do things that are a little bit different from our adventure in Ireland the beginning of the year. St. Bridget's Well's got to be in there because it's a place that I saw some profound transformations in people and turned their lives around, and they're doing so well. Yeah, it's special. So we might get some local ghost tours in as well, where we get the locals to take us around. I'm aiming to support the local economy, the small businesses wherever we can, except for when it comes to Supermax Biscoff ice creams. It's a problem, trust me. Addictive. We will allow some downtime. We will allow some shopping time. We set a bit of a grueling pace, so you need a little bit of downtime. If we've had an investigation at night, we will have a slower start to the next day because we need it, but also we've got to look after our bus driver. He can't be running around like a lunatic, sort of getting 3 hours sleep and coming back to pick us up. It's all right for us to do that because we can sleep on the bus, but we can't do that to him. So that really comes down to now the cost. The cost, we've decided to cost it out in euros. The reason why we do this is because everything we are paying for is in euros. As you know, with the economy, the Australian dollar versus another currency fluctuates. And at one stage, the Australian dollar was worth more than the American dollar. Now it's worth about 65 cents. So that means you've got a swing of about 40% increase in costs. So to avoid us getting smacked with increasing costs with the dollar shift, if we price it in what we're paying for it, then we don't get stung. So that's why it's been set as euros. So if you are going to share a room with a person, it's 2,995 euros each. If you want a room all to yourself, it's $3,495. And the reason why it costs more is because a lot of the accommodation costs the same whether there is one or two people in the room. So it costs us more, costs you more. I would have liked to have tried to get it down further than that, but because we've got a small group, if there's only 10 of us splitting the costs for the hire of a location, then the burden is heavier per person. The tours that take 30 people, that cost becomes dramatically less, but you don't have that personal experience. You can't look. I went on a trip to Romania with a Romanian company, and they had 30 of us going through the forest, the Hoia forest, and there were people that were just there for fun, and they're running around screaming and yelling and carrying on, and we're trying to do an investigation. We've got our cameras out, we're trying to do audio, and we're going, how can we do anything? So the price goes up to be able to give us a better experience. I'm sure you're all very understanding. So if you would like to do that, you need to let me know. You need to let me know if you are doing a twin share, who you are sharing with, and I will book that in. Now, within 5 days of locking it in, we will ask that you pay a €500 deposit. If you want to pay the whole thing, that's fine, but I strongly suggest you use what we've been using, which is Wise. I don't have my card here, but it is the simplest way to do it. I'll just see if I can get the app up so I can show you what it is. No. Wise. So that is, see that little, oh no, it's not going to show because it's green. I've got a green screen on. It's a little green square with a back to front 7 with a hook on it. That's the best way I can describe it. That is the, you might be able to see this little symbol. No, you can't. That's hilarious. Oh, the joys of technology. That is the best way to do it. I put a thing up in our new Facebook page. Couldn't go live from there because you have to have had the page for 60 days to be able to go live on that page. It is Frightfully Good Haunted Holidays. Head over there, like the page, watch what's happening, and we can sort of guide you. There is a thing there on Wise on how to use it. Pauline, who is an absolutely gorgeous lady, but a little bit terrified of technology, she mastered it, and now she's a pro at it. Once you've got the hang of it, it is the easiest way. I did a comparison today of, because we're going to Norway, this is my husband and I did a comparison of what it would be to buy currency through Wise and buy currency through the bank, and the rate given on Wise was dramatically better and the fees were minute. So we've had the New Zealand girls working with it, the Australian girls working with it. I paid people in America for our bookings. You use it like a credit card in the end. Well, not a credit card, a debit card. So you can actually get a physical card. I really strongly suggest that you get at least the online card. And the physical card, once you've activated it in your country, by putting it into an ATM and putting a PIN number in, you can use it anywhere in the world. I withdrew cash with it. I paid bills for it. I made coffee, paid for coffees, simple things, and been so super impressed. Is there any questions from anyone? I've just got to go back through because I was looking at the sheet of paper. Yeah, smaller groups. Hi, Beck. Rebecca did New Orleans with us, and we met up with her in America as well. What else is there? Matt Tones, how are you? This is going to Ireland in September. You should come. You'd love it. Bring the puppies down here. We'll get Roman to look after them. But I didn't say that out loud, did I? Who else is there? Christy. Oh, I know Christy. This is the problem, trying to convince the other half to go. Accommodation. Yep. Oh, hello, Julie. You've caught us on an information uh, sort of video. Now, we have been quiet. The trip to America was pretty full on. So once we started the trip uh, with our small group, we just wanted to give our attention to them. So we didn't really have time to do lives for anyone. We have videoed a lot of stuff which will be coming out. And yeah, it will get there. I've hit the ground running. I've been home a week and it's been pretty intense since we got home trying to catch up with everything. Do any of the places not allow for advance bookings? They do allow for advance bookings, but I have to pay for them if I do them in advance. This is the problem. Any other questions from anyone? All right. If there is nothing more, did Auntie Nata get her? But she did. We did a video, Shane, and I think we forgot to put it up. And there was also an awesome present from. Oh, my brain is mush. But it was wicked. We did a video of that as well. So we will pop those videos up and do a proper thank you. And we also got our first Christmas card. Thank you, Cameron. They're fabulous. I love it. Hello, JD Huggard. We've just about wrapped. Do you got any questions for me before we sign off? Now, what I'm going to do is I will make a list of the people that want to go. I have to allow a little bit of time for our England and American and other countries that may like to come as well. There have been a couple of people who have been, chasing me down. They will get priority, and also our grand poobahs will get priority. If we end up with that many people, then the other alternative that we can do is that Renata and I will add on another 10 days and do a second round. That would be astounding. I'd be like, whew, I don't think we're going to get that far, but you never know. But there will be more trips. We've had requests for another trip back to New Orleans, which I've already been onto our gorgeous correspondent over there, and she's agreed to work with us again. This will all be through Frightfully Good Haunted Holidays, which is Renata and myself. Anything that goes wrong is generally not a bad thing that goes wrong, and it's normally hilarious, and it becomes one of the best parts of the trip. If you ask the New Orleans people with the swamp boat tour, where it was raining and miserable and we still had to go and do it, and it ended up being hilarious. Or the fairy farm, where we got hauled out in the pig trailer on the back of a tractor with gumboots with mud up to our knees. It was hilarious. So just remember, those moments end up being the best, funniest moments. We had one in America too. What was it that happened in America and it ended up being crazy? There was one that we went to a house, Rolling Clouds, I think it was called, and it was a museum, and it was not what we expected. It was way better, and we were taken around the house by the last remaining descendant of the family, and she showed us all of the stuff the family had, and there was Ming vases gifted to them from the King of Siam, just sitting there. They would be priceless. Anyway, if you have questions, just drop us a line on the Frightfully Good Haunted Holidays, or that's it, Cloud Hill Museum. Thank you, Joanne. Yeah, drop us a line there or send me an email. All the information is also down the bottom of this video so that you can find out whatever you need there. And don't book your airfares just yet. Let's make sure we've got enough people to do the trip. But I'm hoping to get that done very quickly. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting your faith in us to have a go at doing this. Thank you to the US people of Salem, who were our first real guinea pigs. I have run things before to America, and Norfolk Island multiple times, around Australia, Tasmania. It's not like it's our first rodeo, so to speak, but we're we're trying to grow. Bear with us. We're just two little old ladies doing our best, and we will see you all on the dark side. And remember, be frightfully good. Bye, everyone.